Hey everyone, how you guys going? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I get asked on a day-to-day basis. So I thought, how about I just make a video and answer all of those questions here so that we all can benefit and all can learn from those answers that I'm going to share with you guys today. So sit tight and get ready to learn. So the first question is regarding face fat. Now there are two different categories that fall under this topic. One is those who have decent amount of fat on their face, but of course they are skinny in the rest of the body and they want to gain weight in the rest of the body without having to increase their face fat. And then there is the second category where people are just skinny overall, including their face, and of course they want to put on some fat on their face. Now for both of these categories, it's important to adopt a process like this where you can focus on gaining weight by building muscle so that you can gain weight the right way in proportion throughout your body, right? Now for those people who want to maintain the face fat or in fact even reduce the face fat, it's important that you guys take this muscle building process nice and slow at a steady pace so that you can focus more on increasing muscle growth in your body whilst keeping your fat percentage increase to a minimal, right? This way you will ensure that you are gaining muscle mass throughout your body and you're not increasing too much of your face fat or too much of your body's fat percentage, right? If you already have face fat, which clearly speaks for your body type, that your body type is the kind where whenever you try to gain weight, the first place where your body will gain weight is going to be your face, and probably that's why you are skinny in the rest of the body but you have fat accumulation in your face. So that kind of gives you that picture that that is what your body type is, right? So it's important that you take the approach nice and slow and focus more on building muscle so that you can keep the fat increase to a minimal, right? And again, to do that, make sure that you push really hard in your workouts, progressive overload in your workout, and secondly you want to ensure that your macronutrients breakdown is such that it supports more muscle growth whilst keeping your fat increase to a minimal, right? I'm going to share a picture here. This is me quite a long time back, but this was a time when I was trying to eat tons of almonds and cashews every single day to gain weight, and of course mine is also a body type where I gained all the weight in my face, right? So you can see my face here, but of course once I educated myself and once I learned how everything worked, I ended up adopting the right approach and experimented with my body to ensure that whilst I gain in the rest of the body, I also minimize the face fat that I had. So it can be done, but again it is going to take a lot of time. It's not something that will just happen in a few weeks time. And then for those people who already have skinny face but of course they want to bring a little bit of fat on their face, now again still go for a slow and steady approach and still aim to build more muscle whilst keeping the fat increase to a decent pace. Reason behind that is because there is no guarantee that if you go all in and if you rush too much into gaining weight, then there is no guarantee that everything will go to your face first, right? Maybe yours is a body type where your body will try and store all the fat in your belly first or under your armpits first, and then the last place will be your face to store any kind of fat, right? So there is no point rushing into things. Still take a slow and steady pace, and as you build more and more mass in your body over a period of time, you will see that your body will pick up your face as well, and you will see that there are changes showing on your face as well where your face is getting slightly thicker and fuller and stuff like that, right? So everything will take time. Second question is how to increase your dumbbell weight as you progress in your weight gain journey. Now this is a very great question, and the answer to this is, for example, you started your journey with 2 kg dumbbells, right? You want to lift that 2 kg dumbbells whilst making sure that you're performing the exercises with correct postures and techniques, and you want to aim for at least 10 repetitions, right? At least 10 repetitions with that weight. If you're able to do those 10 repetitions nicely and comfortably, then that is a great start. But of course, once you have reached that stage, let's say in 1 week's time or 2 weeks time, where you feel like after finishing those 10 repetitions you could have easily done another 3 or 4 repetitions, and that is a clear sign that that weight has become too light for you and you must increase the weight that you are lifting. Okay, so that is when you will make that move to your 3 kg dumbbells, right? Now with those 3 kg dumbbells, your aim is to do at least 8 to 10 repetitions in one set of whichever exercise you choose to do. Now let's say that 3 kg, because of course it's going to be slightly challenging for you if you have never lifted that weight before, so aim to at least do 8 repetitions. If you can do 10, then that is awesome, of course, but if you can only do 7 to 8, then at least aim for 8 repetitions for that 1 week. Then the following week lift the same weight and aim for 10 repetitions so that you can do 2 extra repetitions and slowly help your body increase the strength that way. The week after that, you can either move to 4 kgs and aim for 8 repetitions. If you think you can do those 8 repetitions with 4 kgs comfortably, then that is great. But if you feel like you could only do 4 or 5 repetitions and you're not reaching that 8 reps with 4 kgs, then go back to your 3 kgs and instead increase your repetitions to up to 12 repetitions, right? Because that is still one of the ways how you can challenge your muscles and push your muscles to, increase that strength, increase the capacity of your body to lift heavier. And then the following week you can try again to lift 4 kgs and aim for at least 8 repetitions, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is lift a weight, perform 8 repetitions, then next week perform 10 repetitions. The week after that you can try lifting 1 kg heavier and see if you can do 8 repetitions. If you can do 8 repetitions, that is great. If you can't, then go back to the previous weight and do about 12 repetitions in each set, so that you can slowly increase the strength, and then you can make a move to the next dumbbell that you have. And this is exactly why I emphasize on investing in a range of dumbbells instead of just having one set, because you want to have that range so that you can challenge yourself and push yourself out of your comfort zone every week, every 10 days, every 14 days. And you won't be able to do that if you don't have the resources on you, right? So if you do want to go ahead and invest in some dumbbells, then I have got some links in the description box below that you guys can check out. They're really affordable. So, please go ahead and definitely check those out, and make sure you have resources available if you're training at home, because otherwise you won't be able to challenge yourself. Third question is that I started gaining weight but I'm not gaining anymore, so what might have gone wrong? Now you want to understand one thing, that when you start a process like this, your body will get familiar with the process pretty quickly, and your body will get comfortable with the weights that you're lifting, right? So there are two things again, to keep in mind, that of course progressive overloading is happening, which means you're increasing the tension that you're putting on your muscles as you progress in your program. If you are lifting, let's say if you've reached 4 kgs, right, and if you continue to lift 4 kgs, even though 4 kgs has become light and comfortable to your muscles, and your muscles are used to of that weight, and if you don't increase the weight any further, then of course you won't be generating any more damage on those muscles, which means there is not going to be any further growth, right? So that progression has to be there. So make sure you are doing that, and of course make sure you invest in enough resources or join a gym or whatnot to ensure that you have that progression happening in your workouts, right? And second thing to make sure here is of your caloric intake, right? Firstly, make sure that you sit down and calculate your maintenance calories properly, the right way, using the calculators and everything. I will leave a link in the description box below so that you can calculate your calories properly. And then of course make sure that you move into a surplus of at least 300 calories, if not more or if not less. So make sure you do stay in that surplus. Don't just roughly do the calculations and be like, okay, I'll just have one extra thing and then let's see how it goes. And then of course, when you increase something, of course your weight will also increase, but then is that increment done the right way, or is it your actual surplus calories? That will also dictate whether you will keep on gaining or you will just gain for the first month and then it will stop, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing that calculation properly, and you're making sure that there is a set plan of calories intake for yourself, so that you can follow that. But then if you're already doing that, then you also want to make sure that, let's say after you gain 5 kgs or 6 kgs of weight, your body's maintenance calories will also increase, because now your body has a much larger weight to maintain, right? So you need to revise your plan every time you make that progression, like 4 kgs or 5 kgs. You need to sit down and revise your plan. You will have to revise your calories, you will have to increase your calories, together with of course making that progression in your workouts, right? So that is something you need to sit down and revise every 6 to 7 months, so that you can renew the plan for yourself to keep on experience constant growth. And of course one other point to mention here is that of course when you start a process, you have that full motivation and all the energy going, and you make sure that you stay consistent. But of course after a while that consistency goes down, because all you are after is you're just chasing numbers, and of course once the progress slows down a little bit, you become inconsistent, and then that inconsistency leads to no gains at all, right? So you also want to make sure that you are remaining consistent, and that will only happen if you adopt this as a lifestyle and not something that you're doing for a limited number of time just for the sake of gaining some number on the weighing scale, right? So you need to change your mindset there as well, and make sure that you adopt that discipline, adopt that routine, and adopt that healthier lifestyle, so that you can maintain that consistency, and with consistency you will be able to have better progression in your workouts as well as in your calorie side of things, to support further gains. So make sure these are the 3 things that you are really looking after and revising time to time for yourself, because all bodies are different, we all perform differently. So listen to your body, see how your body is progressing, and then accordingly you can always revise your plans and produce more and more growth for yourself. Fourth question is how to take whey protein as well as when to take whey protein, right? So depending on how long before my workout have I had my pre-workout snack or whatnot, and how much protein did I give my body at that time, accordingly you can decide if you need to take your protein shake right after your workout, or if it's okay to wait for half an hour or whatnot. So it doesn't really matter, but of course, I prefer taking my whey protein after my workout. Within the half an hour of finishing my workout, I personally take that. Now whether you take it with milk or water is completely your choice. Now of course, when you take it with water, it becomes fast digesting because your body only has to digest that one scoop of powder. But of course, when you take it with milk, it probably take a little longer to digest, because of course your body has to digest not just that powder but also the calories of your milk, right? But it doesn't really matter, you can take it either ways. I, like, for the most of my life, I've taken the whey protein with milk only because it's convenient for me. I need to take more calories, and it's just a great opportunity for me to add my milk with the protein shake, so that I make it high calorie shake and have it that way, right? And it's okay if it takes a little longer to digest. It's all right, your muscles are not going to die because of course you have eaten before, right? So there is a release of protein going to your muscles anyway, so there's no shortage as such. So yeah, having it with milk or water is completely your choice, and how you plan out your whole food plan and how you're distributing your macros and calories and things like that. So accordingly you can decide. There is no right or wrong. Also, another thing for me, how I kind of decide if I should take it with water today or with milk, is basically depending on how long of a gap I'm going to get between my protein shake and the next meal that I'm supposed to have. If it's a short gap, then I take it with water so that my protein will digest faster, which means I'll be able to have appetite for that meal. But if it's a long gap, then I just take it with milk, because I know I'll be able to digest both milk and the protein powder in that longer gap that I have. So that is how I kind of decide how I should take it on a particular day. Next question is rest period as well as water intake during your workout. So in terms of resting in between your sets during your workouts, is basically that once you finish your set, you can take up to 40 to 45 seconds of rest before you move on to doing your second set of that particular exercise, right? So this is a decent amount of rest. It's not too short, it's not too long. It will definitely give you a quick breather, and during this rest you can sit down. It's not a punishment that you have to stay up. If you want to catch your breath, you can sit down. Make sure you sip on water. You want to make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. A lot of people say that they feel really exhausted during their workout, especially when they are beginners. You sure can opt for energy drinks or Glucon-D and those kind of things to add in your water, so that there is a constant release of energy. So that is something you can also do, but again, plain water works best. I take plain water, so that is what I make sure that I keep on sipping in between my sets, so that my throat is staying wet, and I am keeping myself hydrated, because you are sweating as well, right? So you want to make sure that you sip on water throughout the workout, and make sure you don't take too long of a rest in between your sets, because you don't want to cool down your muscles, right? That way you will lose the effectiveness of your workouts. You want to stick to around 45 seconds max to max, and then get back to that next set, so that you can, whilst the muscles are still warm and still activated, you can go and shoot again with the next set, and then the next set, and the next set, right? So that is what you want to do. Now that being said, if you're going really hardcore and if you're really lifting heavy, and if you follow me on Instagram, you would see that my gym workouts are pretty intense and they're pretty heavy. So on those days, I definitely take about a minute to a minute and a half rest in between my heavy sets, so that I can give enough time for my muscles to go through a little bit of recovery before I lift that heavy weight again, right? So depending on how hardcore you are doing your workout, the rest period might vary. But if you're sticking to your regular home workouts, or even a gym workout, but you are not going too hardcore and you're just taking it easy, then about 45 seconds of rest is good enough. Now I've got so many weight gain tips and weight gain strategies, and how to progressive overload, different methods of progressive overloads, and a ton of other information coming up on my Instagram reels. So if you don't follow me there, then definitely do so, because there's going to be a lot of home workouts, gym workouts, and a lot of other tips and techniques and those kind of things will be coming your way. So make sure you follow me there, so that you don't miss out on the learning phase, because of course the more you will learn, the more you'll be able to implement in your journey, and then more you will be able to progress in your journey, right? So stay tuned both here for much detailed videos, as well as on Instagram reels for some nice to the point tips, so that we all can keep on moving forward in our journey. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Definitely be sure to leave any further questions in the comment section. Anyways, keep on doing the good work that you're doing, and be sure to look after yourself, stay fit, stay fierce, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye guys.